Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. We are back again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, parts of the world. And I'm gonna say thank you for always tuning in to Cossy's Arsenal podcast for the latest in terms of your Arsenal news. So if you want the latest in terms of Arsenal news, previews, match reviews, highlights, and Arsenal topical discussions, this is the home of Arsenal Football Club. You have reached your home. So make sure you smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. Yesterday we did get that target to 210 likes. Really massively appreciated. Thank you, the lads there that actually made that happen. Let's get this one to 220 likes. Massively appreciated. I thought we will never get to that target, but of course we did get to the target yesterday. 200 likes on that video in the morning. I was absolutely flying when I saw that. So make sure, lads, you do get in your comments, and of course hit the subscribe button as well to become part of the first 50,000 subscribers. Like I've already said, they mean the world to me, and they will be the people that I create content for right from the point going forward. We're going to be discussing a couple of stories today. Barcelona are actually coming out and confirming that they do want Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. We'll be trying to dive into that. Arsenal are rumored to be trailing behind behind the scenes. They do want Benfica manager probably in the future. I'll try to discuss that. I've seen that story really. We have got a new scout for the German market. We're not really getting so many players in the German market at the moment, and of course we have hired a new former Bayern Munich scout to be our eye, to be our scout there in Germany. Lots of talent coming out from Germany. We don't want to miss out. We are going to be discussing the two possible first generation signings that Arsenal are looking at, the likes of Kulusevski. Corriere dello Sport also coming out and confirming that Arsenal are very close to getting in Dejan Kulusevski. Juve obviously very open-minded. They're just waiting for the right time. They're just waiting for the right offer to let go of Dejan Kulusevski. We'll be discussing that. Gigi Wijnaldum also very open to joining Arsenal in the January transfer window for a 6-month loan deal. Like it was rumored by Sky Sport, Arsenal look like this, set to be the next destination. For Gigi Wijnaldum. So what is the latest around him? We'll be discussing that. And of course, the fact that Edu wants to clear out up to 5 players in January. Nicola Pepe, Mohamed El Neni, all being on that list. They could be leaving the club in January, in the January transfer window. Will that actually be a good move for Arsenal? Will it be hurting our squad depth? I'm going to be diving in all those stories right in this video. So because guys, to begin with, let's start off with the very bad news of the COVID-19 and Omicron variant that has actually hit Arsenal Football Club. Now, according to the latest reports that I have, I do not have any names on there. I do not know of any players at the moment. No player has been actually mentioned to have the Omicron variant. No players have actually been tested positive. Of course, no names have been mentioned, but according to the latest reports, I can confirm that there are some cases that have been confirmed inside Arsenal. Now, whether that is players or other staff, it is still yet to be known. But at least I can confirm that Arsenal is also part of those clubs now that do have some cases registered inside the club. And of course, this is putting the world of football and of course the league and of course Arsenal games really in big jeopardy. We could see the game against West Ham being called off if the situation actually worsens. So what I can confirm, lads, is at the moment I cannot say any names, I cannot mention any players, but we can confirm that Arsenal is also now part of the clubs joining Manchester United, joining Brentford, joining the likes of Brighton in recording COVID-19 cases in the latest Omicron variant. So of course that is what I can confirm at the moment. We do not have any names, so I hope our players accept, because according to the article I've looked at from the Mirror, they are saying at the moment it looks like players are still safe, but there are some cases there with the staff. There are some players there, some cases there with the coaching staff, and of course if if the coaching staff do get do get the virus, it's highly likely that the players will also get it. And of course, I said it in the last press conference that we did as we went into the Southampton game. There were so many questions there about the COVID-19 outbreak. There's so many questions there about the league being called off. There were so many questions there in the press conference to Mikel Arteta, addressed to Mikel Arteta, on whether the league will continue. And I just knew it, and I just saw it coming, that this could be a very, very deadly time. This could be a very difficult time for football, and of course for Arsenal Football Club. The last thing we need is football being called up, because we are trying to force ourselves into the top four. We are trying to force ourselves into back in Europe. We do not need a long break. We don't need 3 months, 4 months without playing football. We need to be consistently playing football. But of course, it is always the players' health first. It is always the health of the people involved there first. It is being rumored at the moment that we could see fans being chased away. Of course, not really not being chased away, but being told to stay home during match days. So we could see fans again being blocked from going to match days, from going to stadiums, and then later we will see if the league continues with or without fans. But what I can confirm at the moment, lads, is that Arsenal is the latest club now to confirm some cases inside the club, although it is not yet any names that we know in particular. But of course, in the last wave, Mikel Arteta got it, and of course it was really, really scary because it was the first outbreak, I think. But now this variant that has actually come in, the Omicron one, it is actually being rumored it is not as deadly as the first variants, but it really spreads very, very quickly. And I've seen the likes of the big Don Robbies from AFTV. He's got it, and you're gonna ask yourself, how did he get it? It's through contact, and I think we need to really, really focus on this new variant. But anyway, guys, away from that, let's dive into our transfer market. Let's try and dive into what is gonna be happening in the January transfer window. What who is going to be joining the club, and what exactly are we looking at? Now, the first January signings that Arsenal are looking at that I can confirm are two. One is Yuri Alberto, and the other is Dejan Kulusevski. Now, to start off with Yuri Alberto, Arsenal did show their interest in Yuri Alberto a couple of days ago. I think around 7 days ago or 6 days ago. And of course, the parent club of the player, of the Brazilian striker, did come out and confirm that Arsenal are interested in our player, but we want not less than 15 million euros to get the player out of here. Now, Arsenal are believed to be preparing a bid between 10 to 12 million euros, and that is where it is very, very confusing. Why would we go with 10 to 12 million euros for a player who's actually going to cost 15 million euros? It's absolutely crazy. But Yuri Alberto could be one of the first players that join Arsenal in January. The deal is believed to be easy and easier than any other striker deal that Arsenal are looking at. Obviously, 15 million euros, it is so cheaper than he's very, very cheaper than the likes of Jonathan David and the likes of Calvert-Lewin and Dusan Vlahovic. It's a very easy deal. Pay the 15 million euros and you will have him. The parent club is actually willing to sell, and that is actually how easy the deal will get. Of course, Yuri Alberto is being looked at as the next big thing from the Brazilian market. He's really being rumored to be a very, very prolific striker, being rumored to be probably in the calibers of Cristiano Ronaldo in terms of finishing. Obviously, we will get to know if he comes in he comes in the Premier League, if he comes onto Europe. They always score many goals there in the Brazilian leagues, but when they come to the European scene, when they come to the Premier League, things actually fail to work out. But at the moment, Yuri Alberto, Arsenal are preparing an official bid for Yuri Alberto. Let's see where that is also going to be leading us. But of course, the big story is coming in from Corriere dello Sport, and they have confirmed that Arsenal is the club that will be signing Dejan Kulusevski very, very soon. Now, according to what I do understand, Mikel Arteta loves Dejan Kulusevski, and yesterday I did report that Arsenal do have an agreement with the player to sign him in the January transfer window if there is a possibility of an agreement with Juve. Now, Juve, according to Corriere dello Sport, they are saying that Juve do not have a problem with agreeing terms, with agreeing the on the price with Arsenal. They're just waiting for that official bid. They're just waiting for that official offer for Arsenal from any other club that do want to sign Dejan Kulusevski. At the moment, Spurs are out of the race. Arsenal is the club that is being confirmed by Corriere dello Sport that we are the club that will be signing Dejan Kulusevski very, very soon. Of course, guys, I've already said that Nicola Pepe's time at Arsenal is edging closer and closer. Of course, it did come out as a plan. He said that he's assessing his January options. He's saying, I want to leave, I want to go. I'm going to assess my options. And of course, if there is a very good option, if there is something that I can cling on to as a player, I will be leaving Arsenal Football Club. So Dejan Kulusevski is set to be the next forward to join Arsenal. Obviously, he can really work as a wide winger. He can actually work as a forward. He can work as a striker. And I think that is the reason why Arsenal and Mikel Arteta are so obsessed with Dejan Kulusevski. So the first two January transfer signings that we could see at the moment, of course, we did talk about Renato of the weekend as being one of the leading players to join Arsenal there. But at the moment, Yuri Alberto and Dejan Kulusevski look like the likely easier deals to do. Kulusevski there agreeing to join the club. It's just a matter of Arsenal agreeing the price with Juve, and he will be our plan. Of course, Yuri Alberto, the official bid. As long as you get that, for me, I don't know what I don't understand with Arsenal is we want to get cheaper players at a very, very cheaper price. As long as you can get that 15 million euro mark, on it, as long as you can hit it, go and get your man, go and get the player before competition arrives, before the price actually hike. Anyway, two players being rumored at the moment to be the most likely to join Arsenal, and they could be our first January signings. That is Yuri Alberto and Dejan Kulusevski. Now, what is interesting about Frankie de Jong, there is a very, very big update. His father actually did come out and talk to the AD, and he said, Bayern Munich or Manchester United, I know Barca need money, and a great club and a great offer could actually help, but I don't see that happening. However, 5 best clubs in Europe have called for my son. Now, of course, I did confirm yesterday that Arsenal is among the clubs that are interested in Frankie de Jong. Now, the father is saying it could be Bayern, it could be United, it could be any other club, but what he's confirming is that 5 clubs have actually contacted for the services of Frankie de Jong. And what I can confirm on this channel, what I can confirm on this video is that Frankie de Jong is on the transfer radar of Arsenal Football Club in terms of getting in a midfielder, really talented, really talented, exciting to watch, a joy to watch. He's a baller. Look, when I think about Frankie de Jong and I think about the likes of Nicolo Barella, I'm like, we can get any of those, we can have one of the best midfield pivots, and we could have one of the best central midfielders in the world. But of course, guys, these players do want Champions League football. They want assurances of winning titles. They want to be great. They want to be surrounded by environments that are actually going to produce the best out of them. It's the same with players like Zakaria. It's the same with players like Frankie de Jong. It's not different from players like Nicolo Barella. You can sign them because we have the money, but the problem is, can we convince them to join the project? Can we convince them that Arsenal is the best project there is for them? That is the big question. Of course, there, Frankie de Jong's father coming out and confirming that 5 clubs are interested in his son, and he will be moving if a great offer actually comes in to help Barcelona with their financial struggles. At the moment, we all know they want to get in someone. They want to get out someone of a very significant fee so that they can actually bring in 1 or 2 players to replace the really aging players there, the likes of Sergi Busquets that are really getting old, the likes of Gerard Piqué that are really getting old, and of course you want some players there that do have the experience to fit into your squad, help these young lads, the likes of Gavi, the likes of Pedri, develop better. So Frankie de Jong, could he be on his way out of Barcelona? And what could be the final destination? Could it be Arsenal? We'll be waiting to see how that story unfolds as well. But still talking about our midfield, interests. We have Gigino Wijnaldum on the radar. Of course, we did talk about Gigi Wijnaldum, a story from Sky Sports, Kave Soliko, confirming that Gigi Wijnaldum is on the transfer radar of Arsenal Football Club, and the player now, it is being reported that is very, very open to moving back to the Premier League, and he would love to settle at Arsenal. Now, in the first instant when this story broke out, I didn't believe it. I looked at Gigi Wijnaldum as a very, very far away, player, as a very, 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 far away step from joining Arsenal. But the more I think about it, Gigi Wijnaldum wants game time. He doesn't care where he's gonna get game time. Newcastle want him, you know that. But at the moment, it's being rumored that Wijnaldum would prefer to join Arsenal rather than going to Newcastle. There, my honest opinions about Gigi Wijnaldum is if you get him in, you have brought in a very, very good quick fix. You've brought in someone that can actually do the job well. You brought in someone that can replace Thomas Partey. You brought in someone that has that very, very good passing range. He's got the ability to press. He's got the ability to be press resistant. Of course, we know that Gigi Wijnaldum is a very, very good player. Yes, he's 31, 32, and that could be the problem. Many Arsenal fans, really thinking he's already out of the age bracket where we want players to be, but I don't think he's really so far away out of the age bracket where we want players to be. 31 for 6 months, I would rather get him in, fix the midfield at the moment and probably deal with the big things later in the summer. Now, talking about players and fixing and quick fixes, Arsenal want to let 5 players out of the club in the January transfer window. Edu is planning a January transfer clear out. Let's start off with Nicola Pepe because he's leading the rest, the list of players that could be leaving the club in the January transfer window. Now, I'm looking at it as an opportunity for Nicola Pepe to get more game time, to go out there and shine. But I'm also looking at as a very, very, very poor decision by Arsenal Football Club. How would we and why would even we, decide to let Nicola Pepe go in January? Because I think, honestly, if we are going to replace him with Kulusevski, team Pepe out in January. But if we can't find a replacement for Nicola Pepe in January, we are only hurting our squad depth. Of course, you do not want to hurt your squad depth at the moment. You have clubs like Manchester City coming up in there in January. We already have around 4 games in this December remaining, and of course we are remaining with only 15 days to go in December. We have 4 games to 5 games in December, so games are coming in thick and fast. And of course now you have the problem of the Omicron variant also coming in, so players are expected probably to be out for some 10 days. Some players, if they contract the variant, they'll be out for some 10 days, some 14 days. You need to have as many players as you can. You need to have your full squad at full strength as much as you can. So Pepe, should he go, should he stay? I think if we can get in Kulusevski as early as January, let him come in and let Pepe go. But if we can't, let Pepe stay until the end of the season. Of course, Mohamed Elneny is the other player being rumored that Edu will listen to offers and will be taking offers for Mohamed Elneny. Newcastle interested in the player, and obviously the big club there, Galatasaray, also being rumored to be very much interested in signing Mohamed Elneny on a free in the summer. But they could also be looking to sign him in the January transfer window if an opportunity rises. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, for me, this is what is actually interesting. Ainsley was told that he's going to be getting game time. He was told that he's a very, very important player. He was told to stay. He was told that the manager really believes in him. But of course, now there's a lot of frustration with Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and he wants to leave. And Edu is also willing to let the player go, to give the player what he wants. Let him go. For me, Ainsley, if he can leave the club and we can bring in someone better, we can bring in someone good, then I do not have a problem with Ainsley leaving the club at once. Of course, the other players that are being rumored to be leaving the Arsenal club in January could be Rob Holding, also much interested, much interest for him, from Newcastle. Much of the talk there coming in from from Newcastle that they do want to take him in, and obviously West Ham are also being rumored that they want a centre back, and Rob Holding could be one of the players that do fit the profile, and Pablo Mari as well. Flamingos are saying they want to take their player back if Arsenal are not actually using him. Now, of course, in the final story, Arsenal have brought in a new scout, for German football, and the lad is actually going to be dealing with our problems in the German market. Of course, if you still remember, in the last summer, we brought in a new scout for the English market, and we really did well because we brought in, some Premier League proven players. Ben White coming in at 50 million, and of course, you had Aaron Ramsdale also coming in. So the English market, it looks like we are already doing very well there. Now we have brought in a former Bayern Munich scout to be our next eyes, to be our next scout in Germany, and the name of the lad is called Florian Blucher. That is the name. Of course, German names are never easy. Now, according to Chris Whitley, he did come out and said that Arsenal have hired former Bayern Munich scout Florian Blucher to focus on the German market. They have also hired Romanian Period to focus on the French market as well. So of course we are at this time we are looking for a striker. We're looking at midfielders, and of course in the Premier League it's always going to be very hard to get a striker at a very, very cheap price. So if you want the best talents, if you want those really cheap talents, you've got to sail the waters, reach other destinations, the likes of Germany, the likes of France, the likes of Italy, and of course in France there we know we are already interested in Jonathan David. In Germany, I do not have many links there apart from Dennis Zakaria. I think, but of course there's a lot of talent in Germany. I would love to see Arsenal going for the likes of Giovanni Reina from Borussia Dortmund. I would love Arsenal to see Arsenal going for so many players, the likes of Brice Mbolo, from Borussia Mönchengladbach. I want to see Arsenal linked with those players more and more and more. So there we have two scouts that have actually been brought in. We have Romain Poiriot or Poirot, who's gonna focus on the French market, and then we also have the German maestro from Bayern Munich, the scout and the man himself, Florian Blucher, to focus on the German market. So this early morning, that is what is actually happening around the club. I hope nothing actually bad happens in terms of these, cases and things like that. I really want us to play West Ham. I really want us to play all the games in December. I really want to focus on this season. I'll speak to you in the next one, only if you hit the like button to 200.